last week, failure to identify does not require physical production of any form of ID. It only requires production of 3 specific pieces of information: name, address, and date of birth. That's all. Do not go beyond that. Now, right here, you will see a basic breakdown, a graphic representation of the way the courts have ruled a determination of a custodial arrest is to be made. As you can see, custody is equal to custodial arrest or functional equivalent of a custodial arrest. Then we have functional equivalent of a custodial arrest is equal to a reasonable person, considering the totality of the circumstances, who would believe that he or she is in police custody to such a degree associated with a formal arrest. In other words, officer, am I under arrest? No. Well, am I free to go? No. You cannot get the same answer to both of those questions. If you're not free to go, you're arrested, and you have the right to presume that is the case. Custodial detention, no such thing. It's a custodial arrest. Investigative detention, you're not allowed to leave. You can make the presumption that you are under custodial arrest, but until the officer actually tells you you are under arrest, you are actually under no legal obligation to comply with 38.22 of the Penal Code on failure to identify. You cannot provide false information to the officer under a detention or a custodial arrest, but you are not obligated under a detention to provide them with any information, even your name, address, and date of birth. All right, as you can see, once the interrogation begins about producing your information and your decision not to do so, all right, and why, all we do in this script, as I've said before, is to protect our rights. We don't get aggravated, we don't lose our temper, we don't shout, we don't attempt to educate the officer or school him on his job. We simply protect our rights. Invoke, demand, protect. That's the rule. Anything coming out of your mouth that isn't doing one of those 3 things is the wrong thing. Now, be certain to keep your face as far away from the window opening as possible while sitting normally in your car. Never speak directly into the officer's face or into the opening. Why? Because that gives them the opportunity to say they smell something on your breath like alcohol, even if they don't. Same thing dealing with the interior of your car. If they can stick their face halfway into your car, they can say, "Oh, I smell marijuana, get out of the car." Now, an officer's sense of smell is not admissible evidence in court, but the courts have allowed them, despite the fact that they're running their job with a head cold today and couldn't possibly smell burning cabbage under it, the point being that they will make it up. So don't give them the opportunity. I have helped somebody while on the phone numerous times, and I have had officers pull this little stunt right here. The officer will say something resembling, "Sir or ma'am, I smell alcohol or marijuana, and I'm going to have to ask you to step out of your car." Don't fall for that. The moment those words come out of their mouth, and you need to be expecting them because, like I said, they are here to escalate this from a traffic stop to a DUI or drug bust, and this is one of their major tools for doing that. Even if they find nothing, they've still managed to search your car without a warrant, get you out of it, force you into a field sobriety test, and if you refuse, they're now going to attempt to punish you by administratively depriving you of a license, if you have one, and so on and so forth. This is all to compound the problems you're going to go through, not them. And if you let them do it, they will get away with it. So the moment the officer says something to that, or they ask you some question like, "Are you aware that you allegedly did something and I'm going to have to ask you to step out of the vehicle?" Rest assured they're lying. And if they're not, well, then you didn't follow the other instructions I gave a few moments ago. When they say anything of that nature, you specifically reply in this way: "Officer," and if you know their name and badge number, recite it. "Your statement is patently false and an outright lie. Are you now trying to fabricate probable cause by making false statements into the record and false allegations against me?" Now remember, they're recording this. You better be recording it too. And they're going to understand that you just caught them red-handed trying to make this escalation. that's going to be on their video. And if you manage to get this out articulately, they're not going to have any basis for saying you're under the influence, because someone under the influence is going to trip all over this trying to make this statement. Now, if you are under the influence, not a lot I'm going to be able to do for you in that regard. Your best bet is to just shut up. And remember, that's the other 3 rules if you're not invoking, demanding, and protecting. Shut up, keep shutting up, and shut up some more. All right? So, they can threaten you with K-9 units and all this stuff, but the problem is, until they actually have probable cause to summon that K-9 unit, it's now a false imprisonment. It's gone from an unlawful detention to a straight-up false imprisonment, because the courts have already said that they cannot hold you any longer than it takes to complete the actions for the original purpose of the stop. And they've given an approximate figure, though not an exact, of about 20 minutes to complete a standardized traffic stop. Now, of course, that is considering that the person complies in every way with everything they demand. Once you start standing up for your rights, the length of that stop is going to get extended considerably, because the officer doesn't like it when you stand up for your rights. He doesn't want you standing up for your rights, because that deprives him of his ability to complete the job and go generate revenue somewhere else, or to go get another escalated case in progress so he can get his arrest up. So people, the script was written to protect you. Everything in it is based upon existing case law and the controlling case law on each and every aspect of what we do. You will see lots of people online knocking the script and saying, yeah, pull this in my state and you're going to get tased, or you're going to get shot. Folks, the way the cops are today, that's liable to happen over the fact that you rolled your window down in the first place. You just don't know. So why would you give up your rights just to feel a little safe? I believe Benjamin Franklin said that he who is willing to do that doesn't deserve to be safe or free. Okay? I'm paraphrasing it, of course, but you get the idea. If you're willing to give up your rights for safety and security, you will lose both and deserve neither, is what he said. So folks, please pay attention to these things in the script. They are written and designed to protect you. Thanks for listening, and I hope that this information is useful to you. We have had success from lots of people all across the U.S. with it, and some that not so much because they didn't practice it. But if you internalize this information and you get able to recite it as needed, it will serve you well. So thank you all for listening, and thanks for letting me be back.
Used since before the days of the Roman Empire to support the body's natural systems and enhance overall health. Introducing the new InfoWarsLife.com oil of oregano formulation, a highly advanced nutraceutical form of this key herb that has been traditionally used by civilizations for thousands of years to promote health. We have now procured the most high quality and potent forms of oregano oil on the market, sourced from top leading manufacturers to ensure a concentrated level of bioactive ingredients, extracted directly from the wild herb and sealed in easy-to-use capsules. You will no longer need to endure the burning of liquid oregano on the tongue. Wild crafted from the Mediterranean oregano species that experts agree is one of the most powerful and most challenging to acquire. This winter season, it's more important than ever to secure this true form of oil of oregano. Now available in our limited first run at InfoWarsLife.com. That's InfoWarsLife.com, or call 888-253-3139.
You are watching the InfoWars Nightly News, which airs 7 p.m. Central at InfoWarsNews.com. And your support is helping us defend liberty worldwide.